Secretary General of UN is the head of the United Nations Secretariat. He is the head of it. And UN Secretariat is one of the 6 principal organs of the UN. One of the 6 principal organs. Now, who appoints him? He is appointed by the United Nations General Assembly, but upon the recommendation of the United Nations Security Council. See, since the United Nations Security Council is involved, you can imagine that any of the 5 permanent members of the UNSC can veto a nomination. Now, he is also known as the Chief Administrative Officer of the UN. So, he is head of the Secretariat as well. He is also known as the Chief Administrative Officer of the UN. Then, unofficial qualifications set by President in previous elections. So, what does it suggest? It suggests that there are no set qualifications to this post for someone to be eligible to this post. But we have some unofficial qualification set by President. What do you mean by President? It means based on the selections that have been made previously, we have some unofficial qualifications. Those are: first, the appointee may not be a citizen of any of the UNSC's 5 permanent members. So what does it mean? That those countries with veto power, the permanent 5, they cannot have a citizen as the Secretary General of UN. That is important. Then due regard should be given to regional or continental rotation. Continental rotation of the appointees' national origin, and there should be gender equality too. Very good objectives. Either ways, pay attention to this part, the continental rotation. See, right now, this person, Antonio Guterres, he is Portuguese. He is a Portuguese politician and diplomat who was the Prime Minister of Portugal from 1995 to 2002. See, Portugal is where? Is in Southern Europe. Now, so you know that according to the continental rotation, now Europe is represented. But before him, who was the Secretary General? That was Ban Ki-moon, and he is from South Korea. So, a person from Asia was represented before him. Now, there are some fun facts when it comes to the position of the Secretary General. No woman has yet served as Secretary General. You might remember that over here it says gender equality, but has that been put into practice? No. No woman has ever served as Secretary General. All Secretary Generals till date have been career diplomats. They have served as diplomats to their countries. Then no fixed length of term. So there is no length of term for any of the Secretary Generals. However, they are all following precedent. All the Secretary Generals since 1971 have been appointed to 5-year terms. But has this been set in stone? Is it written anywhere? No, it is not. There is no fixed length of term. So this is extremely important, because what we will be familiar with would be this. We know that they follow a 5-year term, but it is important to know that there are no fixed lengths of term. Then unofficial term limit of 2 full terms. What does it mean? That any person who has once been elected as the Secretary General can compete for the same position a second time. So they can be there for 2 full terms, but once they've been elected for a second time into this position, they cannot stand for elections a third time. That's what it means.